So this past month, I was able to update my actual setup here for when I do lives. In this shot, you can see that I am taking everything apart, wiping it all clean so that I've got a nice fresh canvas to work with, and I can start to make new messes. I was using this table for work for a while there when I lived at my old house, and it basically warped it and it started to bow in the middle, so I definitely needed that to go. Also, I had some messes there from some previous lives, but that's okay. I ended up going with this white tabletop. It's basically like $60 at IKEA. It's nice and clean and white. And then I got 4 black legs that basically screw to the bottom of it. And you're going to see that all done here. I think it's really important that I have a nice setup with a nice clean table so that when I do my lives, I don't have to keep using a tablecloth to kind of cover up the ugly table that I had. But, you know, this is progress, right? Start with a table and then just add to it. So this is fun for me. Basically, I get to put stuff together. I get to build stuff, even though it's a table. It's whatever. But I get to use power tools, and I have fun doing it. So let's get to work. After adding a bunch of screws and then screwing the legs on, voila, we've got a brand new table for doing some work, some projects, some lives, a little bit of everything. Nice and clean. Probably not for long though, that's okay. I did order some stuff from Amazon as well, and we're going to take a look at that. I ordered a boom, basically, for my microphone, and this cut-resistant mat. I believe I paid only $20 for the green craft mat, and about $20 as well for the boom. So I'm going to set that all up here. You're going to get to see me adding the actual boom to the table because it just screws onto the side. It'll work with most table edges, so it'll work really well here. So right out of the package, you can see basically it's all assembled. It's ready to go. I just open it up and then I can figure out where it's going to go. I have to undo the C-clamp there a little bit just so that it'll actually fit onto the edge of the table. I'm going to put it on the opposite side of my laptop so that it's out of the way and I won't have to worry about hitting it. And then I can adjust the arm freely while I'm doing my live. It just slides into a little slot there, and then you can tighten it, and then the arm is free moving at that point. For the specific microphone that I use, it's called a Blue Yeti. This microphone apparently has really good reviews. I've used it for the last several years and I've never really had any issues with it. There is an adapter that comes with the boom, and I just have to remove the microphone from the actual stand itself, add it's like a little screw-on part, and then I have to screw it onto the end of the boom there, and it works really, really well. These microphones, you can pay anywhere between $80 to $300. I think I found mine on Amazon, and I got a really good price. I think I only paid about $130 for it, but it works really, really well. Crisp, clear. It's perfect for interviews or a single person or a group setting. And it's one cable in, as you can see. It goes into the bottom there, and then it plugs into the USB port on most computers. After adjusting the cable here and fastening it to the actual boom, I bring my tripod laptop stand back in and fix that into place. Some other accessories that I found were, I went to the dollar store and I found these little metal containers. They're about $1 or $2 each, and I'm able to put my knives and other tools in there so that they're all accessible during my lives. All right, everyone, who's ready to build some kits? This past month, after a lengthy time without one, I managed to acquire a brand new display case, which basically takes the place of my old display case that sat right here. Though this one is twice as wide, a little bit taller, and it can hold like way more. So I'm definitely happy to be able to remove stuff from the layout and from my personal workspace, just to put it all in one place here, so that if I need anything, I can just come and grab it. But also some things like my Tempo glasses here, they weren't safe, now they are, so I'm happy that they are locked away and they can't break. So this one here, this case I got it from IKEA, and it's the Mills bow. So just in case you do like the look of it, you'll know which one to look for. It is metal, and there's a lock, so I can lock this so no one can get into it. And the doors magnetically keep the whole thing closed. And yeah, they just swing open, and you can grab your trains and head to the layout. So that does mean freeing up some space as well. So you'll see here near the bottom, I was able to free up 2 of my shelves, which I've now replaced mostly with my weathered O&R gondolas, and of course my auto racks, which don't get too much use, but I'm still working on them. So eventually I'll be able to do more with the auto racks, but for now I'm just collecting them. I want to do a big auto rack train. Well, that would be cool. But yeah, I've got lots of weathering to do. As you can see, I've got tons of these ore cars, and only one of them is weathered. So I've got my work cut out for me. And there's even a space there for a caboose that'll probably be showing up sometime this month. With the layout itself, I'm just going to show you a couple of key things that I have been working on this past month. Last month on GVO After Dark, we talked trees. Well, I've put some of those trees on the layout here, and you can see that it's decorated a little bit more. And we've got some more down the way there that I've kind of transplanted, moved from another part of my layout up to here so that I can really get this whole thing looking good. And of course my street lights as well, they're still functioning and keeping the steady flow of traffic. Let's go take a look at the other end. This past month, I've really been working hard in this area here to kind of finish it off and pull the scene together. I still have quite a bit to do still, but I'm gonna show you what exactly I have been working on. So this abutment here, first off, you'll see that there is some graffiti on it, and on the inside as well, which you really can't see, but I know it's there, so that's the important part. And the same thing with the other side here. If you can see behind the trees, there's a little sushi pirate that I put up on the wall there. I still have got to do the back tunnel here, but you know, I wanted to do this front part first. It's just how I roll. And of course I added some bush along there just to hide any cracks or imperfections. And of course, ballast. I've ballasted this entire line of track here, and you're going to see more trees popping up as well in this area. One of the key things that I've also been working on my second level is this downtown section here. And you can see that I've added another building. It's still being painted, and I'm going to eventually weather it and whatnot, but it's not done yet. So until it is, it's just going to sit there, but I work on it every Sunday. I've also started adding lights, and you can kind of see my hub system and how everything is entangled here. But once I get more of these hubs, I'll be able to fasten them, kind of like I've done with that one there. And I'll be able to attach all the lights. But the cool thing is, because I do have power, there's a building back there that has light on the awnings. Very cool. No other lights are lighting up anything yet because that's the only hub that I have with, you know, lights attached to it. So you're gonna eventually see this tunnel light up. I'm gonna add some street lights here, and the buildings are gonna light up as well. So there's a lot going on. And that also includes the station platforms. I'm gonna put lights on the station platforms. And you'll also notice this retaining wall and how I've changed the layout up here in the station area. So I made a long retaining wall, and I've actually attached the station platform to it, and I've put it in the front as opposed to it being in the back. This will give me more room at the back with my train station, And I've also made a higher wall back here as well. I'm not sure what I'm going to put into that section yet, but it's basically just a raised up section. I could probably put a building in there, like just a backdrop building to make it look like, you know, just another building, whatever, downtown building. And yeah, can't wait to get the lights to light this up as well. Trains go through there fairly easily. And yeah, what can be said, right? But it's lots of work putting this whole thing together. I'm eventually going to get a couple more buildings for along here, and I'm going to have to make land here, but I like to do this like one kit at a time, you know? So that's exactly what I did here. You know, I did this building, I added that, and then that. So I start here, and so I'm going to do that here. The big question last month was, what do I do with this area here? And basically a lot of people put in the comment section what they think it could or should be and what type of cars would service it. All very good suggestions. A lot of people were saying scrapyard. The only problem is that my scrapyard right now is at the other end of my layout on the bottom. It services 3 tracks because I've got a lot of gondolas with more most likely on the way. So that wasn't really going to be a good fit for this specific location. However, I can set up a customer for, you know, gasoline, like rail to road transfer, basically. So I can put some unloading racks here with, you know, a building that, you know, would be the office. And then I can have trucks come in and fuel up, and then they would go to their respective gas stations to unload. And I thought this was a really good idea. And I can't even remember who recommended it, but I'll find out and I'll let you know. I can fit, there's 4 on here right now, but I can probably fit another 1 or 2, which is fine because I don't need a lot of tankers, but I'll probably end up getting more eventually. It's something that I do want to grow with my ethanol plant. So this will be one client right here. Okay, so here's something that, you know, some people might not agree with. Some people might say, oh, you're too far along. Oh, you know, why can't you just fix little things and, you know, let it be? Well, I've tried. I tried a number of things. This area here, I'm not completely thrilled with. For starters, I find that my yard, which is this entire section right here, it's like trying to cram, you know, 10 or 5 pounds, or what do they say? You know, it's like 10 pounds of chocolate into a 5-pound bag, more or less. So because my yard is relatively small, and I'm talking like, you know, from there to here, this leaves some tracks like these ones here, about 2, not even 3 feet long. So that sucks because you can barely store anything on it. These tracks here, they are wired, but I haven't added it to the rest of the layout yet because, you know, let's say neglect. I've neglected this area. Most of my locos were just sitting here for the longest time, and this is where they would sit. Now they're in the display case, so I can actually get to work and do, you know, some maintenance here and get this operational. There's a couple of spots in this area as well that just don't work, and I have no idea why. So there's a double crossover right back there. I don't know if you can see it, probably not, but it's right behind that single little building there. It doesn't work. I don't know why it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. So I'm going to remove that double, or not the double cross, it's just a single crossover. It's 2 number 8s that really don't need to be there. So I'm going to remove that. To make my yard more useful, what I'm going to do, and I'm going to just move these here. I'm going to cut this track, you know, so on and so forth, all the way back. And I'm basically going to remove this ladder right here. It's gone. It's going to be gone, like done. I have to scrape up a lot of this. Probably won't save any of it except for obviously, you know, save the switches and whatnot. But I'm going to remove it, and I'm going to continue the track straight through so it connects. And I'm going to remove this ladder as well. And I'm going to basically, you can enter the yard from over here, and it's this entire length right to the back of the, like behind the shops there. And it's going to be going from, you know, 2 feet long to, you know, 8 feet long. And it's going to be at least 5 tracks, 5 or 6 tracks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 tracks. And then I'm going to leave, you know, a little siding here. Maybe this is the caboose track or something. Because I have a few on the way. So that's what I'm going to do. That's part 1. Part 1, removing that, removing this, connecting this. Part 2, I have some issues with this curve back here. It looks okay, you know. The curve is fine. It's, again, I'm not entirely sure, but I always get derailments in this area. I have no idea if or why that is. Also, issues coming off the bridge here. I think it's because you come off a flat and then all of a sudden you're going down. I don't know. But what I want to do is I want to remove this bridge here. I want to take that abutment and push it up to here so that it's just the 2-track bridge, right? And then you're servicing here and the main line goes out that way. And I'm going to alleviate this curve so that it's going to be, it's going to take longer for it to go down in elevation. And, you know, just overall fix this curve because, yeah, it sucks. So it's still going to come across. It's still going to, you know, go through here. But you can see there's the crossover. Like it starts right there and then goes up to that track. So I'm going to remove that. And we're going to fix this. We're going to fix a good portion of this. No, I'm not thrilled, but it has to be done. It has to be done because, you know, stuff like my gondolas, right? I've got, was it 18 gondolas or something like that? 15? I lost count. You know, auto racks. I've got 5 or 6 right now, but they take up the most real estate. Passenger cars, you know, you name it. For some reason, I've got a lot of long cars. So having the storage here, because I was foolish and didn't add a staging yard, this will add an element to the bottom level of my layout. Yes, it's a yard. Yes, it could be staging, you know, shuffle cars around, prep orders, blah, blah, blah. All that fun stuff. But I got to clean a lot of this up and I want to fix a good chunk of it. I want to add possibly a fueling facility to it. And I'll see what I can do with these buildings here. I do want to keep them. So I'm going to try to apply them to what I come up with as far as track, like the track work here. So, but this might take a little bit. So just in case you're wondering why I'm removing the bridge or, you know, removing this area, taking up all this track, that is why. The yard's just not big enough. And I'm trying to fit 10 pounds of chocolate into a 5-pound bag, more or less. But it's okay, because, you know, I know how to do all this, so it's fine. I'm gonna make sure everything is wired really well. Part of this bottom layout and getting the bottom part of my layout done, I feel like some of it was rushed, but it's, you know, it's not one of those things where, well, you got to take the whole thing apart. Not even. No way. I thought about it, but that won't happen. I did take the trees out of here, and I put them up on the second level because I'm gonna redo a lot of this. But for now, this is what I've got. This is the direction to which I am going, and you know, don't look back. Just get it done and get back to running trains. But I think I'm going to wait till the end of the month to start ripping up some of this track so that I can still run trains in the near future, at least this month.